today I want to just take a quick moment to show you all our new image editor. We've had a lot of feedback about having this functionality in StoryChief, so we're really happy to be able to give you that. Let me just share my screen and we can take a look together. Here we go. All right, so you should see my screen. If I'm too quiet, also let me know and I'll try and stand a bit closer. And again, if you have any questions or comments during the webinar, just let me know via the chat, and there'll be time at the end to talk about it. Just saw some messages on my screen. I think it's okay. Okay, so again, if you can't hear me, just let me know. All right, so here we are in StoryChief. You see our editor here open. And the first thing we need to do is have an image in our story. So how do we do that? Well, it's the same way as we've always done. You enter a new line and you click Add Image. And again, there are two options: either upload one from your own computer, or you can search for one using our Unsplash integration, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to search for editor and see what we can find. I think this one looks pretty good, so I'm going to pick that. And right off the bat, you see it's also this new feature we've added. Previously, if you added an image, it wasn't saved or added directly into the story. But now when you pick something, you'll see this like percentage come up. And once that reaches 100%, then it'll be added to your story. That way you don't need to worry about changing tabs and the image disappearing. Okay, so now we have the image, we can now start to edit it. And the way you do that is by clicking on Edit Image. So you can bring that up anytime, even if you've already added other images or other text, just click on that image, click on Edit Image, and then this new image editor will pop up. Okay, so here we have the image, and then we have these options above. Let's first start with the right-hand side, and then we can look at the left-hand side afterwards. So the first option we have are shapes. So there are three options here. We have rectangles, circles, and triangles. So with this particular option, if you're thinking, okay, I have this really cool image, but maybe I want to put some shapes in there, yeah, you can definitely do that with this. So again, just pick one of the images, one of the shapes, sorry, that you want to use. Click on it, and then just drag it to your image. And there we have it. As you see, right, it's invisible right now. That's because you see we have some color options at the top. So the fill, so we can change what our shape should have as a color inside. In this case, I want to use blue. And we can also change the stroke. Now the stroke is the border. So you can see here very faintly it has this yellow border, but we can change that to a different color and also change the size of that border. There we are. And then we also have circles and triangles, and it's exactly the same working to do those as well. Just click on the shape, draw it into your story, and then you can change the fill color and the stroke color, and also the border size. All right, so that's how we can add shapes. Next up is the ability to crop. Why is this so useful? Well, this is maybe especially useful if you are using the Unsplash integration, because the images, they are added for you into your story. They aren't locally on your desktop or on your laptop. So being able to set the aspect ratio inside of StoryChief, it gives you more freedom. You don't necessarily need to download the image first to make these changes. You can do it all within StoryChief. And you see we have some options here. We have custom, so we can drag and drop the crop size that we want, or you can choose for these predefined sizes here. So a square size, and then different ratios. So it's 3:2, 4:3, 16:9, for example, which would probably be one of the most desirable ratios to use. And once you're happy with that, just click on Apply, and it is then applied to that image. Normally, it should be applied to that image. I think there's something wrong with my image right now. Moving on, we also have the ability to flip the image. Again, useful if you are, again, especially using that Unsplash integration. If you want to make these changes without having to do it in a different program, you can flip horizontally, vertically, and also reset those changes by clicking on Reset. Next up, we have rotate. One of the more fancy options, I believe. I'm not sure how you'd want to use this, but you could definitely do it. So you have the option to rotate by a set degrees, so 30, or you can just choose what you want. So you can make some really crazy looking images, or perhaps even just rotate it so it's 90 degrees. That's also definitely a useful option to have, like that, for example. Okay, next option we have here is the icon option. This is very similar to the shapes. So we can choose from these predefined shapes here. We can add a heart if we wanted to. And it follows the same kind of way as those shapes. So we can just change the shape, the color of the background of that shape. Okay, so the last way we can edit this image is also by applying a filter. If you click on filter, you see lots of different options. We can choose to have it in grayscale, sepia. We can blur it if we want to, emboss it. And also you can add multiple. So I can choose this one, and this one, really giving you the freedom to create a real custom image just the way you want it. And there are also more towards the middle, brightness. If you want to add some noise, you can do that as well. You can pixelate it. If you want a really kind of blocky looking picture, you can do that too. And also at the far end, you can also color tint it as well. So once you've worked on here, you may have added something that you don't like. You can always undo things by clicking on the undo button and then redo it as well if you wanted to revert that change. If you click on, say, a shape and you click on the trash icon here, you can delete that shape. If you want to delete all shapes, you can click on this all. And if you want to remove every single change that you've made to this image, you can click on this one here. That'll get your image back to its original look, size, format, everything. Okay, so that's how we can really create different images in StoryChief, without having to leave StoryChief and go into a separate program. This is available in the editor, but it's also available in pretty much anywhere else where you would upload an image to StoryChief. So, for example, if you're using our William blog, if you have an image uploaded, you'll see this like magician's wand icon appear here. If you click on that, it'll again open up the image editor where you can see the image normally. I'll have to check in with that in a minute. This is the same everywhere where you can edit images. Also, for example, if you are getting the editor and you're checking out the cover image, you can also click here to change that as well. We're also looking into adding more functionality into this in the future, perhaps the ability to add text also to the images. So you could type in for here, for example, if you wanted to add a message. If there's anything else that you would like to see or like to see implemented, you can always let me know via email address, sam@storychief.io, or you can open up a chat in the bottom right-hand corner of StoryChief and let us know that way. As mentioned, this will be a bit of a shorter webinar than usual, but I think now might be a good time to ask if you have any questions. I saw that Miguel asked a question towards the start, asking about, again, about inserting text into the bubble. I totally agree, Miguel. And as mentioned, we'll be looking into possibly adding that functionality in the near future. Are there any other questions for now? If you're watching a recording of this webinar, you can always, again, reach out to me via email, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Can you resize images in the editor? Yes, so let me just show you that. So if you click edit image, basically the resizing is cropping. So what you can do here is click on the custom size, and if you scroll over, click and drag, then you can change the exact size. It won't give you the exact dimensions, but this way you can create the ratio that you want. Okay, does that answer your question? If anyone has any other questions, now's definitely a time to ask them. I see a quick question from Thomas. It's unrelated to the webinar, but I have time to answer that anyway. Does William create duplicate content if you have a WordPress blog? No. How that works is that when you select your primary channel, we will add a canonical URL link in all of your versions of that story. So say on your WordPress site, on your William blog, and that canonical URL will be that primary destination. So say if you are using WordPress as your primary, it'll add a link to there in the header tags of your story. And that shows search engines the main source of that story, and that avoids any duplicate content issues. See another question from Brett here. After making edits, does StoryChief do any compression for web? It's a very good question. I'm looking at our developers right now. It does do compression after adding an image, after editing the image. But it shouldn't be noticeable. But yeah, if you see anything looking odd, just let me know and I can take a look for you. Okay, so are there any other questions for now? I'll let you have a few more seconds to think about that. While you're thinking, we do have a different webinar next week. It is about an introduction to StoryChief. So if you are new to the platform, or maybe if you're looking into, you want to discover our more advanced features, then definitely sign up for this one. Let me just share the link to our webinar page in the chat. The week after that, we'll have a different themed webinar. I'm not quite sure what that'll be right now, but we will let you know via email once we know. Okay, I think that must be all of the questions asked for now. Again, if there's anything else, let me know via the chat on our website, or you can email me directly at sam@storychief.io. Okay, everyone, thanks for joining. Enjoy the editor. Hope you will find it very useful, and I'll speak to you again in a different webinar very soon. Okay, bye.